concluding all this?
No, we don't have a timeline. This is an industry that we want to promote. We want to create as many opportunities as possible, and I think this will be an ongoing opportunity for us to promote.
Tinker as you go kind of thing.
No, we're out of the gates today. Like as soon as the press conference is over, we'll be making sure that we're promoting this far and wide and inviting everyone to have a conversation with us.
Why hasn't it taken off in the past? Hemp. I mean, what's been the restrictions on it? Who grows it?
Look, I think one of the restrictions that has actually been lifted relatively recently was the restriction on hemp seed as a food. So while the rest of the world was using this very high protein product as a food item, New Zealand and Australia were restricted from doing that. That has recently been lifted, so that does bring new opportunity for the industry in Victoria.
And how easy is it to grow, and what sort of climate, what area, like Mildura, or where would you grow it?
It's not just random that I'm interested in this. So one of the great things about hemp is it's highly water efficient and it's highly biodegradable, and it likes low humidity climates, not like Melbourne, but kind of like Mildura, but also other parts of Victoria too. One of the things that we know for sure at this point in time is that our community and the state has a recycling crisis, and our community and the state has a water crisis. So what we need to do, I think, is to really think hard about ways that we can combat that. And so why not use this particular fibre, explore the uses for it. The uses are extraordinary. And one of my key interests is in plastics. So we know that, we have a plastic crisis. The oceans are filled with plastics. So this is something that the plastic bottles can be made out of, and they will biodegrade at a much more frequent or much quicker rate than petroleum-based plastic. So why aren't we doing this? That was my question. And so it's just been fabulous to be able to work with these two extraordinary women and an agriculture minister who really wants to be on the frontier of exciting new industries to be able to explore the benefits to regional Victoria.
And is this something that farmers have expressed an interest in getting into in Victoria?
Absolutely, yes, and I'm sure Ali would have the same experience, particularly with diversification. We've got drought, we've got dry conditions in many areas of our state, so people are looking at different industries that they can go into, and hemp is definitely on the radar of many farmers.
One of the things you can also do as well is rehabilitate soils. So soils that have been over the years by glyphosate and other, fairly onerous processes for farming. It can actually assist the rehabilitation of those soils to make them more arable and fertile. So there's all sorts of benefits for farmers in our community, and that's the most exciting aspect of this.
What are the main concerns farmers have raised with you and Mildura why they haven't jumped on board already?
I think part of it is just habit. It's just not part of our DNA yet to grow hemp. It's not something that the Australian industry, there has been an industry for in terms of manufacturing, in terms of consumer behaviour. So this is a new idea, and certainly I think that quite literally probably just a lot of farmers haven't thought of it.
I mean, it's an interesting point that you make, because Australia grew some of the first hemp in the 1700s. We brought hemp out here with the first fleet. We were growing hemp back in those days, and it kind of went out of fashion with the invention of plastics and nylons. And now I think people are seeing that there's an opportunity to bring it back to the size of the industry that it was probably 200 years ago.
Is there any projections of how much the industry can be worth in Victoria?
Well, that's what we've got.
Direct your answer here.
Sorry.
That's right, Jack.
I think this is going to be absolute groundbreaking development for Victorian horticulture. I think that there's currently 45 licences that have been issued. I think with the promotion and support of government and parliamentarians, I think we can really grow this industry, and I think it can be a boom for the Victorian economy.
And those licences are just for seed, are they at the moment?
This is for industrial hemp cultivation.
Right.
What do you have to do to get a licence?
You've got to pass a police check, and you've got to go through Agriculture Victoria to obtain a licence, and you need to prove that you've got reasonably secure facilities.
So those 45 facilities, what are they making now with hemp?
I don't know what stages they're all up to. This is all part of the task force. I'm not an industrial hemp expert, but by the end of a couple of weeks, I reckon we'll be on top of it.
I mean, some of the products that we see here have been grown, cultivated and manufactured in Victoria. So there's boutique industry now, but we certainly could expand that into advanced manufacturing and large-scale production.
Does hemp have an image problem, and is that something that needs to be overcome?
I think there's definitely public perception work that we need to do, and that's going to be part of our task force. As I've said, hemp is not a drug. Hemp is a wonder fibre that can be used for a range of materials, and we're ready to explore every opportunity that's available for our state.
So why? I missed the start. I missed like.
That's right. Well, you missed the
audio
breakfast.
again,
I assumed the hemp presser would start late. What are the potential benefits for the agricultural sector?
Well, this is about an exciting industry that we want to develop, and it's all about creating more jobs and diversifying our industrial sector, which is it's under challenge. We've got drought, we've got dry conditions, and this is a really sustainable product that uses less water than a lot of other products, and it's really something that I think farmers are going to be really excited about exploring.
And why aren't they doing it now? They're just not aware enough.
I'll answer that.
Please,
Oh, she can go
yeah.
ahead.
I can answer that. I think part of this is habitual. It's just not sort of what we grow. I can certainly speak for Northwest Victoria. I think that the point that was made before was a good one. In terms of stigma, that hemp is associated with drugs, and that doesn't particularly. I guess that is a barrier that we need to overcome. But the things that we want to educate our farmers about, and through leading this sort of initiative, is that this is a highly biodegradable fibre. It is water efficient. Jack just mentioned about the issues with drought. Aside from drought, though, we have the Murray-Darling Basin reforms, which mean that farmers are under a lot of pressure to do more with less water. And this is a mainstay. This is not a fleeting thing. Droughts come and go, but in terms of the Murray-Darling Basin reforms, they're here to stay. And as a result of that, we want to be able to have farmers have the option to move to fibres which can still give great returns, make profit so that they can sustain their livelihoods, but at the same time can use a lot less water because sustainability for the entire Murray-Darling Basin is a big issue.
And there's also the advanced manufacturing opportunities with hemp. We're seeing car parts now being made from hemp in other jurisdictions. So this is a great opportunity for Victoria to move back into those markets of automobile parts, of aeroplane parts. And this is an incredibly strong, lightweight product that is replacing steel
Strongest natural fibre in the world.
Yep, and it's replacing steel in many industries.
Are there any potential downsides to the hemp industry?
Well, this is all part of our task force work. We want to identify any of the barriers or any of the challenges, and we want to minimise them as much as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.